On this adventure, I'm on the Strasburg train. I actually got to ride this. It's pretty cool to check out, and it was a nice train ride I went on. So here's the history of this location. We'll start with the beginning. When the Pennsylvania and Columbia Railroad, also known as the P&C, began construction of its 82-mile rail line from Pennsylvania to Columbia, Pennsylvania. In 1831, it convented the town of Strasburg by nearly 5 miles. It meant a near death blow to the commercial and agriculture invests in Strasburg that heretofore helped rank Strasburg as the most populous and richest towns in Lancaster County. In response to the particular kettle cough that followed, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania gathered a chapter in the summer of 1832 to create the Strasburg Rail Road so that the businesses and the citizens in Strasburg would have a direct line connecting to the P&C main line, thus serving their infused and profitable and large Lancaster community. History records little over of what happened with the Strasburg Railroad in the 20 years after its chapter. What is known, however, is that by 1835, enough shares had been sold to fund the grounding and the construction of the railbed. The financial picnic of 1837, several hundred and further developments of the rail line, and postponed the town's advancement via a direct rail connection to the main line. By the late 1840s, the economy had stabilized enough to spur local interest in receiving the railroad. By 1851, the Strasburg Railroad became incorporated and soon after began carrying passengers and freight to and from the now Pennsylvania Railroad Junction in Paradise, Pennsylvania, thus fulfilling the dream that started 20 years before. In this section, we're going to talk about the second chance. A second chance. By 1954, the Strasburg Railroad had weathered 4 wars, 3 depressions, and 1 government takeover. Wow, that's interesting. Though the railroad continued to operate on its 4.5-mile run to the mainland despite the rapid decline conditions of its weeds-infested rails through much of the early 1950s. Railroad operations were sporadic and best, with hauling roughly 200 carloads of freight annually and with annual gross revenue of less than $3,000. The Strasburg Railroad was the smallest and probably the poorest railroad in the nation. The lack of frequent business, inadequate funds, and insignificant manpower were 3 reasons why the physical condition of the railroad was so depleted. In late March of 1958, a week after a blizzard dumped more than a foot of snow, Henry K. Long, Donald E. L. Harlock, and several fellow railroad enthusiasts met to discuss the purchase of the Strasburg Railroad from the Homestead estate. They were determined to keep what was described as the, quote, I'm not sure how to say this, I'm just going to spell it out, METHUSELA of the railroads, unquote, alive. They were determined to salvage Strasburg. After a better long part of the year of deciding their time and efforts in clearing waist-high weeds, repairing rails, and relaying ties, their dream became a reality on November 1st, 1958. When the sale of the railroad was completed, a new date was drawn on the Strasburg Railroad, when the well-constructed yet modest group of local rail fans purchased and subsequently retrieved passenger service at the Strasburg Railroad. Little did they know how popular their railroad soon would be during the first year of tourist passenger operations in 1959 annually. A rail ship was slightly less than 9,000, still impressive for the relatively absurd railroad in Amish country. However, by 1962, just 3 years after retrieving railroad passenger operations, when rail ships surpassed 125,000, the group of 24 individuals knew they were into something. By 1960, excursion trips were so popular that passengers operations needed more substantial motive power. The directors took for a situation. Their situation was steam. In this section, we're going to talk about the today. The Strasburg Railroad offers somewhat unique to the visitor. It offers fully restored steam locomotives in the world where steam motive power has been replaced with diesel and electric. It offers beauty restored wooden cars in a world where the wooden rail car was obsolete for commercial purposes. And it offers a 45-minute full narrated ride through picturesque Amish country farmland during a time when tourists could not get enough of anything, quote, Amish, unquote. From its first steam locomotive purchase in 1960 to today, Strasburg's reputation for steam restoration, repair, and refurbish is unique. The shop staff and the roster of serviceable steam locomotives are unparalleled. Coupled with what that is the car shop, where 100 years old wooden coaches are fully restored to their original beauty. Strasburg Railroad continued to be one of the few tourist railroads dedicated to running late 19th to early 20th century wooden coaches for its passenger service. Over a half a century later, the Strasburg Railroad remained dedicated to steam. It still ranks as one of the region's most frequent attractions and the most visited tourist railroad in the continental United States, with annual riderships averaging 30,000 passengers. Yeah, that scared me too.
Oh, that's gonna go around the front.
Yeah.
That's not even big enough. Well, yeah, it could be, but if there's a lot of it.
It's back here.
Yeah, this should be.
Yes, you can pet her if you want to. Lily. Lily. I know. I don't like treats. It's full. And 10 pounds and heavy.
I got 2 chocolate labs and a Pyrenees.
Oh, they're big ones.
Yeah.
I'd be like, get off me, you big
70
prick.
and 100 pounds.
So this is what was pulling us. And now it's going over to the front. It's going to switch to the front. See how it went backwards on those tracks, and now it comes along. It goes, takes us to the other fork. Takes us to the other fork. Here's the locomotive. Watch it.
Maybe I can get you in the cab.
Thanks for watching my video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and also don't forget to hit the notification button so you'll be alerted when new videos get released.